So I want to begin by asking you to first close your eyes and think about the word fitness. And as you think about all the various images and things that you associate with that word, start opening your eyes. Now, for most of us who were born in the early 80s or earlier, the word fitness usually brings up things like exercise and physical activity. In other words, what I usually call physical fitness. However, as the world has evolved, and rightfully so, increasingly the word fitness also brings up in most people's minds images of things like well-being, mental and emotional health. And so for simplicity today, I will refer to that as mental fitness. And so overall, when I put this together, the good news is that our definition today of fitness is a lot more holistic, it's a lot broader, and at minimum, it usually broadly at least refers to these two buckets of physical fitness and mental fitness. But my push today is that that is not enough. In the coming time, in the world that we need to face now, we actually need a third bucket of fitness, and this is what I will refer to as social fitness. Now, before I move further, I want to pause and draw a quick parallel to something that psychologist Daniel Goleman talks about. He says that in order for us to maximize our full potential, there are three kinds of focus. The first is what he calls inner focus, an understanding of our inner feelings and thoughts. The second is what he calls outer focus. This is a focus on our external surroundings and systems and understanding how they interact with us and our world. And the third is what he calls a focus on other. And this is really an understanding of others' feelings and thoughts and their inner and outer areas of focus. Now, when I bring this together and think about mental and physical fitness, the conclusion I've drawn is often we can tend to work on both of these in privacy, in isolation of the other. And so what it really leaves out is that third focus that Daniel talks about, a concerted focus on the other. And so that's really where social fitness comes in. I believe that we need to make a conscious effort to make sure we're prioritizing that in order to hit all three of these areas of focus that Daniel Goleman mentions. Now, coming back to social fitness, what exactly is social fitness? Is it just a fancier term for socializing? And I know some of you are probably thinking like, come on, is this really that important? Better yet, if you're a friend or a family member of mine, you're probably watching this video in shock. Because for many years, I was actually known for being quite antisocial. In fact, I was a serial phone avoider. I was that person who often tried to avoid phone calls at any or all costs. In fact, when I'd see someone call me, I would literally start hoping that they would hang up or that the call would get disconnected or their phone would die or my phone would die. And they would then have the good wisdom to message me instead. And we would sort out our lives and settle the matter over text or email. The perfectly normal, acceptable, and my preferable way of doing everything in life. Now, over time, some of my bad phone behaviors also started translating into my physical life. I would RSVP to events and then hope that the host would change their mind, or that the event would get cancelled, or that the venue would shut down, or that I would fall sick. I would literally hope that I would fall sick so I wouldn't have to go to events. Because interacting with people and engaging in deep, meaningful conversation and sharing about yourself and learning about them is hard work. And it is time consuming, and it is just easier to not engage in that social interaction. And over time, I would share these stories with others and we would have a good laugh. And often some of them would also open up and admit to doing similar things. And over time, I had started justifying these behaviors. I would say things like, well, I'm an introvert, so I need to engage with the world a little bit differently. And I had convinced people that texting instead of meeting people or emailing instead of engaging in actual events is actually more efficient and financially prudent and more resourceful. And so I share all of this to say, I've been there and I know what you're thinking. And after all of this, I've still come to the conclusion that our social fitness is on the decline and we need to stop it now. We need to ensure that we're prioritizing it. And there are several things that have led to this decline in our social fitness over the last few decades. And I'll share about two of them in particular now. The first big reason for decline in our social fitness is technology. While technology has been an incredible enabler for the world in the last few decades, it has fundamentally changed how humans think, work, and interact with each other. The speed of communication has undoubtedly accelerated, and people like me have seen that paradigm shift as we've moved from writing letters, sending FedEx, to email, chat, social networks that now connect us across the world, and high-speed internet that brings even the remotest areas of the world to our fingertips. But the quality of our social interactions have significantly deteriorated. I don't even need to show you data here. We've all seen people at parties looking at their phones versus engaging in meaningful conversations. We've seen families spend less time talking about their day with each other and more time in front of different screens. We've seen people express friendship and love, but also anger and angst behind the comfort of hiding behind screens versus doing it the hard way, face to face. We've seen cyberbullying on the rise because it's so much easier to not have to confront the hurt that you're causing. It's why parents are collecting cell phones at birthday parties, and schools are having to come up with norms around cell phone usage for different ages. In fact, not only has technology led to a detrimental impact on our social fitness, there is clear evidence that technology has actually also led to a decline in our mental fitness. There is study after study that shows that as tech usage goes up, it has almost a perfect correlation with declining mental well-being. The second big reason for our declining social fitness is COVID-19. With the onset of the coronavirus pandemic, technology usage amped up rapidly across the world. Individuals of all ages started spending more time on technology than ever before. And we immediately started seeing the repercussions of this on both mental and social fitness across more age groups and more income groups than ever before. With increasing smartphone penetration and 1 billion people projected to come online in India by 2030, technology's impact on our social, mental, emotional, and psychological well-being is inevitable. Ultimately, we've got to remind ourselves, as Sebastian Junger does in his book, that human beings are social beings. While we all have different personalities and preferences, at our core, we have a strong instinct to belong to groups that have a purpose, mutual relationships, and an understanding. And we don't just want to be associated, we want to belong to these groups that he refers to as tribes. These tribal connections have suffered deeply in modern times, but regaining them, Junger claims, will be key to our survival. We know that as the world began to get more obese, we had to start prioritizing our physical health. And as our awareness of psychological well-being has increased, we've had to make effort to prioritize our mental health. In the same way as our tribes and social behaviors are getting weaker, we now must prioritize building them back. So then what is the plan of action? How are we going to beat this social fitness pandemic? I'm going to share 3 tips with you, but remember that underlying all 3 of these, my advice is to treat social fitness just like you would physical fitness or mental fitness. So the first step to becoming more socially fit is to actually start tracking it, just like you would track your physical fitness or your mental fitness. You would usually at the end of a week or a month ask yourself, how many times did I exercise? How many steps did I take? What is my well-being like? In the same manner, I'm suggesting you also track your social fitness, and the results will really surprise you. When I first started doing this, I was quite taken aback. I could spend a whole week at work or even, during my college days, having gone to meetings, interacted with people at a surface level, done deep thinking, even submitted my work on time and been fairly achievement oriented. But actually in that week, I would have escaped all meaningful, deep social activity. I wouldn't have been vulnerable. I wouldn't have shared my feelings with someone else. I wouldn't have taken the effort to get to know how others were feeling. All of which I'm saying are critical to enabling and building our social fitness. So the first step is start tracking it. The second step is prioritize it, just like you would your mental or physical fitness. Remember that the first step is often the hardest. Putting on your sneakers, making it to the gym, signing up for that counseling session is really hard. But remember that once you got through that 60 minutes, how rewarding it felt, how great you felt. It's the same thing with social fitness. You're gonna have a hard time making that first step, but you're gonna do it because remind yourself how good it feels once you actually went to that party and started interacting with people. Remember what it felt like when you had that meeting in person and how much better results it yielded. The truth is, whether it's work or academic achievement or projects in school or college, I could give many, many examples, but there are certain outcomes that can only be achieved if you put in the time in person, physically, interacting in deeply meaningful ways with people. And again, like I said, there are many examples, but just very quickly, there are certain projects where the outcomes can only be achieved through a solid brainstorming session, and brainstorming just has to happen in person when you put in that meaningful time with people. It just cannot happen over text or on WhatsApp or on email or on Zoom. Similarly, teams are more effective when people know each other and have deep, meaningful relationships with each other. It is so much easier to build relationships when we put in the time to socialize and when we prioritize the other. So like I said, you yourself will also find more and more examples, but really the trick to social fitness, like any other form of fitness, is that you have to prioritize it. You have to set a cadence, you have to put it on your calendar, and you have to get it done, knowing that while the initial steps might be hard, the results at the end of it will be rewarding and worth it. And my third piece of advice is to mix it up. No one likes to run every single day or do the same workout routine every single day. We all like variety. And social fitness also comes in all different shapes, sizes, and forms. You can do one-on-one or a small group or large group. You can socialize in the company of your known friends and family. But you can also go for an occasional blind date or put yourself outside of your comfort zone and meet new people and hang out in different social circles. So exercise all of your social muscles and mix it up. So those are really my 3 big tips. Make sure that social fitness is something that you're tracking, it's something that you're prioritizing, and it's something that you're mixing up. And one pro tip, a very successful way to make sure that you are prioritizing all 3 areas of fitness is think of ideas where you can actually attack all 3 of them in one go. Go for a yoga session in the park with friends. So you're working on your inner self, your physical fitness, but also in the company of your close social circle. And so you're checking all boxes in one go. Last but not least, what are you waiting for? Don't keep sitting in front of this video. Go start working on your social fitness. Go share this video with others. Thank you. Bye.